Today on SLEDHEAD 24/7, a Ram cross-country adventure from Winnipeg to Bemeji, Minnesota. Tag along with Polaris cross-country racers as they embark on one of the most challenging races on the planet. He was one of the first superstars of snocross. Blair Morgan's high-flying style revolutionized the sport. Find out the latest chapter from Blair and Ski-Doo. Mountain riding is clearly one of the most extreme. We'll hear from some mountain experts on how they record and share these one-of-a-kind adventures with a GoPro. Spend some quality time at Arctic Cat Family Fun Day. It's back to the future. Time to fast forward with a rare sneak peek of the 2018 sleds from Arctic Cat and Polaris. Ready to ride? SLEDHEAD 24/7 starts now.
Welcome to this week's episode of SLEDHEAD 24/7, your show for everything snowmobile. I'm your host, Chelsea Scorch, and we're here this week at Bob's Cycle Supply in St. Paul, Minnesota. We have a lot of great stories this week, so let's start out with one about a cross-country racer named Taylor Bunke.
The early days of cross-country racing were a lesson in survival. It's always been one of the most punishing forms of racing. Today, the weather is just as cold, the scenery just as bleak. But the sleds and how we cover the sport has changed. From the front seat of our Ram pickup, we brave the elements. Sort of, with a heated steering wheel and a simply amazing stereo system. As Polaris racers continue to write the next chapter in cross-country racing.
Taylor Bunke, number 14, ride for Polaris. Race in the USXC cross-country circuit, number 14 in the pro class. We're doing the International I-500 coming back, starting up in Winnipeg and ending in Bemeji, Minnesota. Cross-country racing is point-to-point racing, so you know it's unlike anything else we've ever done before. The race changes from one mile to the next. Snow conditions change. You never know what you're going to hit. Being prepared to come across anything is crucial. One of the biggest things this year was my transition from semi-pro up to pro ranks. Guys are a whole lot faster. It's a completely different animal. These guys are, they're just on a rail all the time. You can't make a mistake, or you're not even in the ranks for the top 5. It's just crazy. After 2 days, we've had 34 some odd sleds, not able to finish. Coming away with where I'm at now, I'm sitting in the top 10, lined up right next to my dad, starting tomorrow morning. So, very happy with how everything's going. To be able to rub skis with him and push myself to that level that he's been at for many years is unbelievable. I think that was probably one of the most difficult races I've ever done. Sled ran good. Didn't have anything too bad that happened, so it was a good race.
We wish Taylor the best of luck with the rest of the racing season. There's more SLEDHEAD 24/7 to come right after this.
Still ahead, mountain riding tips from the experts, and find out how the Tiger Tracks helps build the stage for the world's greatest snowcross races. But first, how can a snowmobile bring families together? Find out at Arctic Cat Family Fun Day. Time to get acquainted with the latest member of the Arctic Cat family of sleds. And there is no better way than at Arctic Cat Family Fun Day, as we discover how a little snowmobile has a big impact on bringing folks closer together.
So today at ERX we're doing the Arctic Cat Family Snow Day. This is all about putting people onto our new ZR200, our new U sled, and our newly designed ZR120 U sled, getting kids the chance to experience snowmobile firsthand. For the parents, we have virtual reality machines, we have food, drinks, and most importantly, our full lineup of model year 2018 sleds, which we just debuted at our dealer show this week. So it's really fun for everybody, adults and kids alike.
You know, the event itself and seeing the smiles on the kids' faces here for the last few hours, and we just simply can't peel them off the machine. We're seeing that they're pretty determined to get back in line 4, 5, 6 times in a row and just can't get enough of it. So that just validates everything we had expected for this machine. It's great performance, and it's all about fun, and it's delivering just that.
Oh man, this is awesome. I mean, we've been an Arctic Cat family our whole lives, and to have them make a mid-size, bigger kid sled is awesome.
He wants to go ride right now. They've been having a blast all day long. It is a really cool thing they're doing out here to let the kids explore for those that haven't done it before and have a fun day, and awesome of them to put on a show like this.
It's really fast, and then when you go on the bumps, you fly up in the air and kind of go off your seat.
She's having obviously an amazing time. It's her first time on it, so it's making me a little bit nervous, but she's having a great time. I don't know if she knows how to stop.
The industry has been waiting for it. We had this huge gap between a small snowmobile and a full-size snowmobile. So getting the families here, experiencing it, there's nothing like taking a test drive. Even when you buy a new car, you always want to drive it. But if we have a product that keeps them snowmobiling, they love to get out in the winter conditions and have fun doing it, they're going to keep being snowmobilers for the rest of their lives.
Mom, I do want to get one.
Still ahead, mountain riding tips from the experts, and find out how Tiger Tracks helps build the stage for the world's greatest snowcross racer. But first, time for today's Amsoil Tech Tip.
So this is our red rocker. This is what gets us to the races every weekend. And when I get to the races, I don't want to worry about the truck. I want to worry about focusing on winning races, making sure our equipment's right. Having Amsoil inside there eliminates that headache for me. Extended drain intervals, longer life. Fortunately for us, Amsoil allows us to focus on winning championships, races, and being on the podium, and not worrying about the red rocker making it to the race and getting back home.
SLEDHEAD 24/7 is brought to you by Amsoil. Protect your weekend. By Polaris. Terrain domination. Arctic Cat. Share our passion. Ski-Doo snowmobiles. What matters is what's next. FXR. World-class outerwear. And by Ram Trucks. America's longest lasting pickups.
He was one of the biggest racers in the sport of snowcross and motocross. They gave him the nickname Superman because of the way he raced. He dominated both series in the late 1990s and early 2000s. He's the one and only Blair Morgan. A tragic injury ended his career on the track, but now he's found a new way to help out the folks at Ski-Doo.
He was one of the first superstars of snowcross. In the late 90s, Blair Morgan's high-flying, aggressive style revolutionized the sport.
Blair Morgan's an awesome guy for sure. I grew up racing with him. My first years as a pro, we had a lot of intense battles, and he taught me a lot for sure.
Now, is there enough time left? Can Hibbert hit Blair Morgan?
Nicknamed Superman, Blair earned numerous Canadian and U.S. championships, and Blair was even featured in one of the first racing video games.
I think the big thing that Blair was really known for is the fact that Blair thought everything out. There wasn't an I that wasn't dotted, a T that wasn't crossed as far as how he was going to go into a race. And that's what he really does well, is that he really is able to think through a race and, put it all together. He's definitely a legend in snowcross racing.
But a freak injury on a motocross track resulted in a broken back and ended his racing career. After some time off, Blair returned to the track, working with Ski-Doo, helping the next generation of racers sharing his unique insights to racing.
Just things I see like when I'm at the event, like on the track, like we just watch practice, so just kind of seeing the different lines, and it's just little pointers here and there. You know, you don't want to confuse them on telling them to change their whole riding style or anything.
It's really cool to have a former champion and probably the best racer that we've ever seen help us out.
And you know, you almost can feel living life vicariously through those guys that you help out, that yeah, you're still out there racing, and just being here at the event is almost like that.
Blair continues to share his wisdom and race savvy on the track, and his life lessons are ones we all can benefit from.
I remember being little going to the snowcross races and being in awe of Blair's performance. It's so fantastic to see him back with Team Ski-Doo on the weekends. Don't go anywhere. There's more SLEDHEAD 24/7 to come right after this.
Still ahead, discover how Arctic Cat helps build the stage for the world's greatest snowcross racers. And we'll get a sneak peek at the 2018 sleds from Polaris. But first, let's head to the mountains. At 8,000 feet, the world changes. It becomes a playground if you know how to do it. When it's time to go up mountain riding, get ready for a life, mind, and body-altering experience.
It's pretty cool riding in the mountains, especially when you break through the cloud line and up into the sun, and you look out and you're like, wow, did I just come through that? Because this is pretty cool.
Ultimately, there's nothing compared to riding in the mountains. You know, you have sights, you know, some features that you just don't get anywhere else. It's really hard to beat. You know, from being up at, 10, 12,000 feet, unloading at high elevation, 3 to 4 foot of blower pow. It really is hard to beat, and something you don't get anywhere else in the country.
And for mountain riders, GoPro is the ultimate way to record, preserve, and share this adventure.
A lot of the posts I post on social, it's use GoPro stuff, and it's the both easiest way to quick capture content that nobody else gets to see.
One of my favorite shots in riding a GoPro in the mountains is actually being able to follow somebody, so you can really see that line. You get the first person point of view of what your snowmobile is doing, what you're doing, but you also get to see, where they're going as well. Sometimes it's really hard to capture, the angles and the steepness of some terrain, the differences of, mountain riding versus trail riding, and being able to really see that person ahead of you, as long as, having a picture of your own sled, your own ski tips and frame, really shows the steepness and the diversibility of the mountains.
When you are back at sea level, that's one of the best parts of reliving and sharing your GoPro mountain adventure. The air is not as thin, and the risk of an avalanche is greatly diminished. When SLEDHEAD 24/7 returns, a rare sneak peek at the 2018 sleds from Polaris and Arctic Cat. But first, here's Jason Houle with a straight line performance tip.
Getting towards the end of the year, everyone's going to be putting their machine away. Now today we're going to run over a tech tip on what to do to that machine to basically get it ready for storage. We got to remove that belt. We do not want to leave that on the machine for the entire season. You'll get some corrosion, you'll have a problem with it. When it comes to belt issues, we want to make sure that it keeps it formed, so just remove that belt.
They say it takes a village to have a snowcross race. Groomers, track crew, medical crew, and the TV crew. You can say there's a lot of people. But Arctic Cat has came out with a way to make our lives even easier.
Imagine the job description. Work round the clock 24/7 in a harsh, sometimes bitter cold environment. No time off, and be ready to go into action at a moment's notice. This is exactly what the ISOC operations crew does at each weekend ISOC race. A key part of building the track and keeping the show on schedule is this Arctic Cat machine and the amazing Tiger Track system.
We work very closely with the ISOC crew on the racing side, and they use our HDX models with our Tiger Tracks. These UTV models are equipped with Tiger Tracks. It's a snowmobile track, and this helps the whole crew get around the track easy. take on and off snowmobiles that may have crashed or can't go under their own power.
The Tiger Track has been time tested and proven on Amsoil Championship Snowcross powered by Ram. From snow and mud to ice and rain, heck, this cat even does it with a little style. It's a show horse and a workhorse.
Mother Nature, you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes it's really warm, sometimes it's really cold. This weekend it's a little windy and pretty chilly outside.
The HDX is an amazing machine with those Tiger Tracks kits on them. They can go anywhere, whether it's mud, snow, dirt, or water.
From the Tiger Track to a big reveal, are you ready for a sneak peek on the latest and greatest for 2018 at Arctic Cat?
A new model that Arctic Cat has introduced is the Norseman. Now this is kind of a utility sport model where you can go out and haul things, tow things around, but when you're done working, you can go play. And this thing will be a great sled to go back, boondocking, trail riding.
Jeff Fisher took a 2-day class from the Cat Brass to learn about the new innovations. Lesson 1, the new Cat power plant continues to get bigger, faster, and stronger, from paws to claws.
This is our new 800 C-Tech 2 engine, so we've been working on this for the past 4 or 5 years. We're going to maintain the power levels and the durability, but the throttle response, off-throttle response, they're just greatly improved on this package.
You know, I got a chance now to get out and ride Arctic Cat's new 800 C-Tech 2 motor. And you can just feel the performance from the other 800, you know, and it's in the middle of winter. I've been out riding, put on miles of all of our brands of sleds, and I can really feel the difference. The mid-range torque of this motor is exactly what they said. It pulls harder, very controllable, easy power though. It doesn't hit hard, it just keeps pulling. Real linear right from the bottom up.
Part of Sneak Peek was a tour of the brand new Arctic Cat headquarters. It's a multi-million-dollar facility in downtown Minneapolis, next to Target Field. And it's more than a place to work. You gotta have some fun, right?
Bring it on, fish meat.
But perhaps the biggest news at Sneak Peek was about one of their smallest sleds.
Forever and ever, the snowmobile industry has been talking about we need a transition snowmobile, something that bridges the gap between 120s and a full-size machine. Arctic Cat's got that. The ZR200, it is that transition snowmobile. It's going to be a machine that can go in deep snow. It's going to be able to have suspension that kids can have some fun, maybe catch a little air. That suspension, front and rear, is going to handle it. 200cc 9 horsepower engine. This is going to open up the opportunity for families to go riding. This thing's trail legal, so when kids are able to ride legally on the trail, this machine will be able to do it.
Many more new sleds from Arctic Cat await our review. And next up, we're going to ride them hard in an upcoming special edition of SLEDHEAD. Please stay tuned. Still ahead, Sneak Peek continues as we discover what's new for 2018 from Polaris.
SLEDHEAD 24/7 is brought to you by Amsoil. Protect your weekend. Stud Boy. Traction with an attitude. Straight line performance. Ziegler Cat. Exceptional service backing the best equipment. The U.S. Air Force. Aim high.
Up next, the evolution of snowmobiles continue. We're going to see the latest and greatest from the folks at Polaris. Today, we're going to check out the 2018 lineup. Let's take a look.
Ready for some time travel? Let's fast forward to 2018 as we get a rare behind-the-scenes look at the 2018 Polaris sleds.
We're up in northern Minnesota. We're riding the new Polaris for 2018. It's Polaris' Sneak Peek. They took us out. We're riding backwoods, lakes, ditches, you name it. We're hitting it. Fresh snow, beautiful sunshine. It doesn't get much better than this.
Lots of really cool new stuff for Polaris for model year 18. What I'm sitting on right here is an all-new sled. It's our Polaris Titan, which is a family of extreme crossover sleds. We have 3 different trim levels, SP, XC, and Adventure, which is the one I'm on here now. And they're really designed specifically for outdoorsmen, people who operate in remote environments, who need to do more, expect more from their sled. So sleds that need lots of flotation, or they need to tow things or haul a lot.
You know, this thing's an absolute beast.
We got a ton of weight in the back of this thing, and it doesn't even break a sweat. To drive it, you got throttle responses, 800 motors, fantastic.
Enjoying the summer at Polaris. We've been getting ready for another season. This season we're really looking to expand the Axis chassis and do what we do best, get people more places on snow. If you look at the SKS, for example, this is the ultimate in backcountry boondocking. We took the switchback assault and made it even more aggressive. Stiffer, deeper lug track, narrow front end. There's no place you can't go with this sled.
So a sled that really has all of the great handling attributes of the Pro RMK, just in a shorter package, will be a super, super popular sled for us.
The folks at Polaris continue to impress me with all of their advancements in technology from year to year. The guys at SLEDHEAD 24/7 are heading out to Snowshoot in a couple weeks to test out all the products just for you. That's all the time we have this week for SLEDHEAD 24/7. We want to give a big thank you to Bob's Cycle Supply for having us out today. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we're always live on SLEDHEAD24-7.com.
Join us next week on SLEDHEAD 24/7 for a comparison of the Polaris XCR, old versus new. We'll see you next week on SLEDHEAD 24/7.
For you to call me up on the radio and say, hey, you need a little help from the old boy over there, didn't I? Well, there's mountain could slide, so I figured I'd save the time. You didn't miss me?
No answer.